Michelle Pendleton. This is my studio where I get inspired, create something from that inspiration, and usually make a mess. Today's inspiration came from the last video I made, where I showed how to move the start and end point in a design. When I was doing that, I was able to split a closed shape at its start and end point. I hadn't been able to do that before. ProStitcher released a new version of Designer earlier this summer, and I wondered if this was a new feature in the update. I looked at the release notes and it wasn't listed, so I decided to try this out in both the old version and the new one, and I really could split a closed shape at the start and end point in the new release. So let's take a look at how this worked in the older version and how it works in the new one. This is the older version of ProStitcher Designer. How do I know that it's the older ProStitcher Designer? Well, one way you can tell is just by looking at it. In the new version, up in the upper top left, there's a whole different little set of icons. But the other way I can tell is if I go to Help and then I go to About. This is version 15.25, and you can see that the copyright is 2020. And the new version, the copyright is 2026, and I'll show you when we go to the new version that it is, it's 16 point something. So that's the the older version. So now let's go to Tools, let's go to Artwork, pick an ellipse, and we're just gonna draw that shape, finish the shape. All right, if I go to the shape tool and I can see my edit points, let's go to this where the start. First of all, if I right click on it, I can tell it's a closed shape because all I can do is split the line. I cannot close this line, so that means it is a closed shape. But just to make sure, if I click on this, okay, it's all moving together. So it's all moving in the same place. Whoops. Bring that back. Okay, so now if I go to that spot and I right click on it and I tell it to split the line. Okay, so I'm telling it to split the line, nothing happens. I can't split the line there. But let's try this just to make sure. So I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to split the line, then I'm going to click off. I'm going to go back to my edit points, and again, it will not split at that start and end point. What you used to have to do is I'm going to zoom in really close. What you used to have to do is come into the edit points and you would right click on it and you would split the line very, very close to that start and end point. And that would make this, so here's my new start and end point, and I can click on my original start and end point, right click on it, and delete that point. Oops, I guess I didn't want to do that because it screws up the angles. But so now I have where I can split the start and end on it. And that's how you used to have to do it in the old version. So now let's go to the new version of ProStitcher Designer and see what we're able to do. So now we are in the updated version of ProStitcher Designer. And just to give you an idea of how this looks a little bit different, you can see up here, up in this top where all the tabs are, there's a little house icon to go to the home screen. There's a little save icon. Your undo and redo icons are up here, and then you've got all of the tabs that we had before. So that's one way you can tell. The other way is to go to the help section. And these icons are a little bit reordered from the previous version. But if we go to the About section, you can see that this is version 26.31. And over here, you can see that this is copyright 2026. So this is the most recent version. So if we go to Tools, we're going to do the same thing that I did previously. We're going to go to the Artwork. We're going to pick Ellipse. We're going to draw a shape, hit Q to finish the shape, and then I'm going to hit E to go to the Edit Nodes. And if we right click on it,
all I can do is split the line. So that means this is a closed shape. If closed line is not an option, that means this shape is already closed. You cannot close it more than it already is. So if we go here and we select, oh, I will redo just what we did in the previous one. If I grab this, it just moves around. It is a closed shape. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to right click on that shape, or on that shape, that edit node, and I'm going to go to split line. Now, sometimes this has worked immediately. Sometimes I have to click off of it, but let's just try it where all I have done is right click and done split line. And you can see that I can split those two start and end points apart. And now what I've got here is I've got snap to anchor points. So what should have happened is when I snap those back together, again, you can see this line has now closed. It's now a closed shape. All I can do is split the line. But where before I could not split it at the start and end point where that closed shape was, now I can split the shape into a line with its own independent start and end point. This is a huge change, and it's a great change, and I am just thrilled that I tripped into it. So if it doesn't work immediately, so let me go ahead and delete this. So let's go ahead and draw in another ellipse, finish the shape with the letter Q, go to the edit point. So I'm going to go to split line. Okay, now you can see that now that clothesline is an option, it is a split line. You can tell just by doing that right click and looking at it. But let's say it had not done that. So sometimes what I've had to do is I've right click, I've split the line, I've clicked off of it, and then I come back, and then the um, start and end points can be separated. So I hope that is a helpful tip for you. Like I say, I didn't know until I did this last video that this was even an option, and it's a great option. So try it out, and hopefully this gives you a little bit more control in your editing.
Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped you, the biggest compliment you could give me is to give this video a like. An even bigger compliment would be to subscribe to the channel. And the biggest compliment you could give is to share this with someone that you think could use this information as well. Again, I appreciate your time, and we will see you again.